Okay. Well, folks, welcome to Funding Opportunities for Energy Efficiency and Renewable Energy. When we talk about money, that does bring people out. And there does look like there's a couple opportunities available, so you ought to hear it and act on it if appropriate. First, I want to just go around and have people introduce themselves and just your name and your organization that you represent. Otherwise, it'll be too long here. So I'm Ken Wright from Face Communities Go Green, and I'll pass it over to Joanne, and then she can pass it over to Nikki. Joanne?
Okay. I'm Joanne Gerson, founder and co-chair of Faith Communities Go Green, and happy to see everybody here.
Okay, Nikki?
Hi, everybody. My name's Nikki Vandefort. I work at the City of Cincinnati's Office of Environment and Sustainability. Happy to be here.
Right. Avery? You're muted.
You're muted.
Hi, I'm Avery Corbin, Christ Memorial Baptist Church, Cincinnati, Ohio.
Great, thank you. Bob Sanker?
Hi, I'm Bob Sanker with St. Joseph's Catholic Church in the West End.
Great. Thanks for joining us. Terry?
I'm Terry Jones, and I'm with Consolation Baptist Church.
Okay, Cindy?
I'm Cindy Starr, and I'm with St. Andrew's Episcopal Church.
Okay, AH.
I'm with New Song Ministries and also Cincinnati Christian Adult Ministries Center.
Great. Susan?
Susan Fox, Christ the King Lutheran Church, way up in Westchester.
Good. Okay, Bishop Lee.
Christopher Lee, Senior Pastor of Christ Memorial Baptist Church.
Great. Melissa?
Melissa Stevens, pastor at Washington UCC in Camp Washington.
Okay. Tom?
I'm with Advent Episcopal in Walnut Hills.
Okay. Adia?
Lydia Anderson, and I'm with Cincinnati Islamic Association of Cincinnati.
Okay, great. Marjorie?
Marjorie Dogan, New Vision United Methodist Church.
Excellent. Okay, Becca?
My name is Becca Desai, and even though I'm with FCGG, today I'm learning, getting information for the TIC, which is the Interfaith Center at Miami University in Oxford.
Okay, so you take the distance award then. Let's see. We also have Michael Bryant.
Michael Bryant, Wind Hills Presbyterian.
Yep, he's on the phone. Anybody else that maybe on the phone that I missed?
I'm not on the phone. I'm on the computer.
Oh, you're on the computer. Okay. All right. Well, anybody else that I missed?
Looks like AHG.
CMBCC. And okay.
Anita Henry Green, Christ Memorial Baptist Church.
Oh, okay. Yeah, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Fred. You want to introduce yourself, Fred, there?
Yeah. Hi, everybody. I'm Fred Desai, and I'm getting information for the Zakoi, our Zoroastrian Association, and our center.
Oh, there's Michael. I can see him now. Turned on his camera. Okay, let me just share the screen. I think this is the right one. Yay. Okay. So, I think given the nature of what we're doing, it's probably best that we have questions as we go, unless it gets too unruly. So don't hesitate if you need to have something clarified or have a question, jump in. It's probably best that we mute ourselves unless we do have a question, but other than that, fine. We've done the introductions. So I want to turn the session over to Nikki Vandevort from the City of Cincinnati. And she's going to talk about probably several things, but certainly about the Seeds of Change program that the city is offering, because that's the nearest term and probably the most highly, probable source of funding for many of our organizations here. So I will
You want to make me a host, or can I share my screen?
I see. I should be able to do that. Tools for share. Who can share? Nope. Oh,
You have
participants.
to stop share first.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. That should work now for you.
All right, let's give this a try. There we go. Y'all can see that?
Perfect.
Great. All right. Well, hi again. My name's Nikki. I have been with the City of Cincinnati's Office of Environment and Sustainability for about 2.5 years now. I'm on the energy team, and this particular program is not something that I actually work on, but I'm happy to present it on behalf of our office. So this is specifically for organizations that are within the city limits. So if you're outside of the city, I promise I'll be brief. And I have something else later that will be relevant for you. But this Seeds of Change grant program, this ties back to our Green Cincinnati plan, which, we've had a Green Cincinnati plan since 2008. We're working off of the 2023 iteration. And the idea here is to get money into the hands of community-led projects and folks to do environmental and resilience and sustainability projects that are in line with the Green Cincinnati plan. We've got over 40 strategies, over 130 individual actions under 8 categories, spanning from buildings and energy to food systems to natural resources and a number of other, mobility, things like that. So getting the community involved is an important aspect of what we're trying to do. And so this round, because we've had several rounds now, we're looking at least $100,000 in total to support projects across the city. Projects should involve and benefit the neighborhoods and residents most affected by climate change. So that is going to be an aspect of the competitive scoring of applications. Requests can be between $1,000 to $20,000 and can be used to support prevention or adaptation efforts in one or more Cincinnati neighborhoods that align with at least one of the Green Cincinnati Plan strategies. And I'm put in here, there are 40 strategies. And then you'll need to launch and complete your project within 1 year with measurable impacts. To dive a little deeper into it, for eligibility criteria, this has got to be in Cincinnati. The impact's got to be local here. You do have to have nonprofit status or apply with the support of a nonprofit fiscal sponsor. There's more information in, I have a resources slide. I'm sure that we will be able to share slides with you later. And so those are clickable links for more information. It should be grassroots and community-based, so the applicant's annual budget should be less than $500,000 unless they are applying with the help of a fiscal sponsor, and actionable. So you need to be able to launch the project and execute on it within the 1-year grant period. All 4 of these requirements must apply. If you want to know more, there is a grant readiness checklist. I've got it in a later slide about whether your project is eligible, if you're ready to apply, what makes an application competitive. Approved use of funds includes capital expenses like equipment, supplies, and materials, or program expenses like volunteer workforce training, events, outreach, stipends for community member participation time. But funds cannot be used for general operating support like personnel salary and benefits or office rent or utilities. Cannot be used with anything to do with political campaigns or partisan work or lobbying. Work must be completed before the grant period begins, cannot be used for work that has been completed prior to the grant period beginning. Work outside of the city limits is not applicable to grant funds, and then entertainment for entertainment's sake. A little more on fiscal sponsorship. I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but the organization does need to have a tax-exempt status, nonprofit status, or work with a fiscal sponsor. So there's more information here. If you need to, go ahead.
Yeah, do we have anybody here who's who's representing an organization that is not a 501c3? Doesn't sound like it. Okay, so that makes that easy.
Okay, but if there's any questions, we have this email here. You can contact our office, and we'll work with you on that.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We're not 501(c)(3).
Yeah. So I understand that there can be a number of houses of worship that don't have that status necessarily. So in that instance, and I don't work on this program, your best bet is to contact this email address here down at the bottom, oes@cincinnati-oh.gov. But my understanding is that you would likely have to work with a fiscal sponsor.
Yeah, last year we, Faith Communities Go Green, applied for this grant, got it, but we are not 501c3. We did find a fiscal sponsor, so it's certainly doable. Just a little more, another step.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Sorry to interrupt.
No problem. So the application, complete application includes the form. Online is preferred, but paper is available. Your budget for your project, fiscal sponsor agreement if that's needed or applicable, and a partner agreement if that's needed or applicable. And incomplete or late applications cannot be considered. Here's our timeline. So applications are going to be due at the end of April. There will be a review and approval period between May 1st and June 15th. Award or decline notifications will go out June 16th. Implementation timeframe, therefore, is June 16th of the period of a year after that. Looks like these numbers are all 2025, 2025, should have been updated. So this is, again, not my slide. But someone forgot to get in here and fix that.
Yeah, it is current on the website.
Great, thank you, Joanne. And then this will include a grant report, just so we can keep track of all the good work that's being done across the organizations. And I know in years past, in cohorts past, there have been opportunities to present on the projects, and you know, a lot of this type of information, when it's collected, can be then used either by the city or your own organizations to sort of storytell and put into other grant applications to demonstrate the good work that's being done. We have application support coming up. Some of these sessions, well, I guess there was a session today, but there are a number of additional sessions and office hours. So you can see here it says sign up for a 30-minute time slot if you want more of like a one-on-one type of conversation. You'll need to click on that link there. Again, if you want to just reach directly out to oes@cincinnati-oh.gov, one of my colleagues will be able to speak with you directly over email.
I would strongly recommend that you do this as early as possible. Get your ideas together, get your concept for the program, but don't do much writing, because you may find when you talk to them that you need to do a 45 or a 90-degree turn in your thinking. And so, and if you do that, wait till the 4th week to do that, it's going to be too late. So try to get it in as soon as it's feasible for you to do that.
Yeah. This is that slide I was talking about, the resources slide with all of the links that could be helpful in helping you make your decisions. I will also say I spoke with the lead on this program, and she said that they are really looking this round. They're specifically looking for, let me start over. So in the past, they've gotten a lot of applications related to gardens and food gardens and that sort of thing, which is wonderful. But we do have 8 areas of the Green Cincinnati Plan. So they are going to be more heavily weighting projects that do fall within the buildings and energy kind of category. However, the most competitive applications would look more like not just like making an upgrade to your building and then there doesn't seem to be any connection to the neighborhood. So if this is something like you wanted to do some sort of upgrade that would allow you to serve as a resilience hub, or to serve, like to upgrade your commercial kitchen so that the community can, because you have the intention of having community gatherings or, some aspect of resilience hub or something like that. Something that is accessible to the community, not just necessarily your own parishioners. That's going to be a more competitive application. So just wanted to make sure I got that in there.
Yeah, there's some words in there about, the collaboration with other people, other organizations, things like that, all strengthen your proposal. Or even serving more than one neighborhood is a good thing. So if your church or / organization serves more than one community, which I suspect a lot of you do, you want to make sure that that's mentioned so that you give them some sense of how broad your reach is, how many people you might affect, because that's what they're looking for. One of the things they're looking for.
I have a question. What about just an idea of signage that we want to upgrade the signage outside the church for, community information and things like that?
I guess if it was connected to installing a more energy efficient LED sort of sign, that could be argued as a eligible use of the funds. However, I don't, unless you were able to say that this was truly tied to like community education and outreach or communications in the event of emergencies or things like that, then I don't know that it would be a very competitive application.
The other thing the city is big on is resilience. And so if you can demonstrate how your project makes either your building be more usable as a community hub where people can go in time of crisis, or, that be a snowstorm or a heat wave or some other civil unrest kind of a event, that's probably something that they would pay attention to.
Yeah, and I will just because I not only sit on the energy team, I also sit on the resilience team at OES. I am going to look up our link to our resilience hub page, just so you can, if you never heard that term before, or you want to know more about what constitutes a resilience hub, there are resources online for that. So I'll share that in the chat.
Okay, great.
Nikki, I have a quick question. I'm sorry. In regards to the upgrade commercial kitchen, I just have a question regarding that. Like, if we are feeding the community, if we do things to where it's like, will we offer free food out, and we're always feeding the community, whether it's fish fry or anything like that, is that something that will maybe catch an eye?
That one was just one that came off the top of my head, and I am not on the judgment community or committee. I think that would. I think you could put that into a competitive argument, a competitive application for the work. Certainly, I think you could tie that to resilience in particular, food scarcity. If you're located in the food desert,
right?
Certainly.
Okay, thank you.
Should have some sort of environmental angle to it as well, right?
Yeah, so if you're doing an upgrade, certainly would be looking to do some sort of like energy efficient Energy Star appliances or something like that. The trick with the Green Cincinnati plan is that it's not just, it's not all solar panels and insulation. It's resilience is a core theme of the Green Cincinnati plan. So, and it's a body of work that's growing at our office.
I think this is one of the things that your time with half hour with conversation with their office would help sort
Yeah,
of
certainly
guide you
that would be
what
a
they would
wonderful
be.
question.
Yeah, you get some sense about what would work and what would with them from that meeting.
Yep.
I want to add some
Anything else?
things based on our experience. So first of all, they in the beginning, Nikki mentioned people that there's a number you can call. I strongly advise it that go over your plan and they will give you all kinds of help. And if you draft something, you can go back to them and show it to them. You don't have to just talk to them one time. Um, my first draft, they were very, very blunt and said, "Oh, it's an excellent idea. You need help with writing a grant." So, but they even guided us to some help resources, and they're very supportive and really want to see it happen. Also, in the timeline, when you look on this website, they have a meeting and it's in person, and they really encourage everybody who's serious about this to attend that meeting. I think, Nikki, there's just one meeting, not two. Sometimes they have two, they have it repeated at different times.
I only saw one on there. It was on April 2nd, I believe. I only saw one meeting listed on the site.
Yeah.
I believe it was on
This
April
time,
2nd.
Right. In the past, I've seen two.
So
So,
definitely go to their
that's a tip for people who have had level 1 or level 2 audits. You have a lot of good data as far as supporting your budget. And that's going to be very important for you in writing up your budget. Be sure to look up the Green Team plan so that you can actually quote, this fits into blah, 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 plan. Those are my tips.
Yeah, good list. How many organizations are seriously thinking about putting in an application on this program? I've got one, let's see, two,
Consolation.
three. Okay.
We are.
Four, maybe. Okay, so a fair number. Yeah, one of the things that Faith Communities Go Green is sort of weighing is, what should our strategy be? Because we could certainly put in a proposal too, but I don't know whether we really want to compete with you all or not. So we need to figure out how we're going to work in terms of that. Because I think we'd rather support you rather than compete with you. I think there are some other possible funding for the things that I'm interested in doing at least. And Joanne and I need to work that out.
Ken, am I to understand that we're going to get all of this in writing so that we can understand, what the strategies are, what we can apply for?
Well, I would recommend you go to the website, which is listed in the chat here, and it'll be on the slides copy.
Okay. Yeah, got it.
And because there's a lot on that, and it's basically she's copied a lot of what's on the website there.
Okay, I'll
and
get
really
that.
give you a lot of guidance. Now,
got it.
What's the role of Faith Communities Go Green in all this? We can't write and submit the program for you, but on the other hand, we've been through the cycle at least once, which doesn't make us an expert, but it does make us hopefully some help to you. And so I would say we would be open to consultation with you and help kind of give you ideas or if you want to bounce ideas off us, that would be okay. There is also a budget you have to submit.
Right.
It's a fairly simple thing, but you do have to have real numbers. So if you're going to be doing hardware, you need to have real costs for that. Get a quote for it, or several quotes, preferably. And as Nikki said, it can't be personnel costs.
Right.
I put together a document, and all the websites and information is on that document, and we will get that posted.
Mhm.
And I think we can also email it to everybody that's attending.
Yeah. Okay. Any other questions, comments about the Seeds of Change program? Okay.
I just wanted to ask because TIC is outside of the city of Cincinnati limits, so is there any information for organizations like ours?
Yeah, when we
Yep.
get to my turn, there's other grants for
Mm.
outside the city.
Yep. Yeah, this one seems just to be probably the most promising one for a lot of people, so we put it first. Okay, so we want to talk now about
Can
other
I just
sources that,
sorry, Ken, sorry to interrupt, but can I just confirm that Coleraine Township would not be city of Cincinnati, correct?
I'm pretty
They're
no,
outside the city.
right.
That's where our church is going
Right.
to be. Okay, thank you.
Yep. Okay, so Joanne, you want to talk about some other sources that you know?
Sure. I need to share my
You
screen.
should have permission. I gave everybody permission to share.
Okay. All right. Can you see that? Now all I have to do is,
Yeah, we got to blow it up. Yeah, it needs to be enlarged a bit. Maybe just full screen it will work.
yeah, well, I'm working on it.
Yep.
Something here is interfering with this. There we go. And slideshow. Use slideshow. Okay, where to go? All right, is that too big or can you all see it?
That's good. I think that's good.
Okay. All right, and that's the last slide. Why did I come to the last slide? All right, so I have to do this one at a time. Why is that one to jump? Here we go. Arrow. Try that. That one. Okay. We've been putting together resources for everybody for a long time now. If you go to our main screen, Faith Communities Go Green, and click on Toolkits, you will come to a bunch of boxes, and I want you to go to the one that says Funding Sources. And then at that, you'll open two boxes once you click on Funding Sources. One's About, and the other is Sources. On the About, it's helpful, very helpful on how to write a winning grant. And the best place to start, no matter where you live, is at the Cincinnati Library. It is nationally renowned as one of the best resources for grants, especially for nonprofits. And their staff is well educated and happy to help you. They give classes and in person and virtually, and they also give you one-on-one support. And again, all of this is going to be printed and sent it out to you, or I'll just send you the slides. So you don't have to worry about trying to scramble to write down links. The funding resource page has two sections, and one gives you a complete list of all the grants that we found at the library in 2021. So it's a little bit out of date, but not terribly, because these are major grant companies and these are mostly private grants, and worth looking at. It's done on a spreadsheet. So this spreadsheet has about 30, maybe 31 different grants that are specific for houses of worship and the environment, the combination. If you're a member of Green Umbrella, and I, of course, encourage you to be a member, but it's, I believe it's $200 for a membership. Then as a member, you have access to their list of grant opportunities, and that list is 137 long. The other page that I encourage you to go to is the denominational resources. Many denominations have all kinds of resources. They have help of sorts to some of them provide funding, some of them provide loans, some of them provide awards, recognition. So again, this was constructed around 2022. If you have information to update that, that'd be great. Please send it to me. I'm happy to update our file. But do look these 2 pages over, because it's a tremendous amount of information and helpful resource, and especially if you are not in the city of Cincinnati, which, you know, the seeds of change would not be of help to you. On the working groups, that's when you click on that page, it'll take you to the facilities, all the working groups, but you want to go to the facilities working group. And on that page, that's where you will find copies. I will post a copy of what my talk is on a Word document and has all the same information, and if not a little more in this than I am presenting in the slides. You will also want to visit the Take Action page. That's resources for contractors. When you want to apply for a grant, you need to have access to actual numbers of what something's going to cost. So if you are writing for a grant for either solar or HVAC system, you can't just make up a number. And so you can contact some contractors to get bids.
Yeah, Joanne, let me just add something. Many of you have gotten energy audits through our programs, and those energy audit reports, the level 2 reports from Energility, have cost figures for projects, but those are just national estimates of what those projects might cost. So they're not real numbers in the sense of, you know, you can't go out and find somebody who's going to do that job for that price exactly. You have to find a local contractor who can do that work and get bids from them. And again, better to get more than one.
And it's always smart to get at least 3 bids. And you may have references. Our list is incomplete. It's a start for you. And then the district 2030 district from Green Umbrella has an additional list. So there's a tremendous number of opportunities. The 2030 district is geared specifically for commercial buildings, whereas our list has commercial and residential. And some of these houses of worship that we're working with, they are smaller, and so somebody that does residential work would be able to work with a smaller house of worship. We talked about the seeds of grant. Here's the current dates. It was released Monday. The program that I strongly encourage you to attend, even if you're not going to do it this season, you know, this time, they offer this. This is done in the spring, and a slightly different one in the fall, and then again in the spring and fall and so on. And you can see on their website how many they've done and how many awards they've given. So you would want to register on the website. The application this year is due May 1st, and award notifications are the 17th. And so the 18th is when your timeline begins. And by the way, most of you that are on this call are participating in our Seeds of Grant awarded to us to do the things that, you know, we're doing. Greater Cincinnati Foundation has a tremendous number of grant opportunities. They have 2 different categories. One is the Greater Cincinnati Foundation grants with their partners. And the Boots on the Ground Fund just ended, but there'll be another one. So don't get discouraged by the fact that it just ended. This is in collaboration with the city of Cincinnati. Better Together is anticipating their launch. And the Resilient Communities is also anticipating their launch both in the spring. But they also connect with generous people and through who set up private foundations, and they're there to help. And so the person you would want to contact is Jennifer Gessheimer. And also, I encourage you to sign up for their announcements, and you'll get an announcement in the email about a fund that's just opening or that's soon to open or a new fund. So that's the biggest tip I can give you on the Greater Cincinnati Foundation. Please look into those. That's not limited to the city. Some of them are good for in Kentucky and Westchester. So it's Greater Cincinnati. United Way is another one. Again, Greater Cincinnati. And they work with a number of organizations providing services that align with their education, financial, and housing. However, if, for example, if your house of worship wants to set up housing opportunities for homeless, this is a perfect match. So don't think, oh, it's just residential housing. And that, anyway, so here's the website, and again, that'll be posted, that you can get more information from them. The Ohio Department has actually two, but I didn't list one on the slides. It is listed on my thing, but that one is not nearly as relevant. So the Advanced Energy Fund, it just ended, but they do this 2 or 3 times a year. And that's for a larger amount of money. You have, I think, if my memory serves me is correct, it's $200,000. We do have a few houses of worship that have a bill that high to implement their things. I think I'm not going to go into detail on this because I'm thinking that Ken or Nikki are going to talk more about these. The Ohio Energy Efficiency Fund, again, next round, it's in the $100,000 to $200,000 range. The Ohio Energy Loan Fund is open, and the Ohio Environmental Education Fund opens July 26th. And Faith Communities Go Green has discussed that. I think that would be an excellent one for us, for the facilities group to do another round of helping houses of worship. Lawyers for Good Government. If you go for example, the renewables, it's getting kind of tight for that, but if you've already started working on that and you're going to put solar on by, I think it's by July 4th, and I'm sure Nikki and Ken will elaborate on this. These people are here to help you with the paperwork for the tax credits, and it's free help. So that's always a nice thing to know about. I'm not going to go into these, but I would just want you to know that the websites are on this, but I saw on Ken's something about a big bill, and I'm really interested. Is that just the collaboration of these three information, or is it something else? And I think that's it, Ken. I'm going to stop sharing.
Any questions or comments?
May I? Yes. May I interrupt? I talked to Moonshot today,
Mm-hmm.
and she said that, they are a funder-driven organization. And so they provide grants according to what their funders support. And their funders have said they would prefer not to fund houses of worship. So she redirected me to a loan. They do the bridge loan until the tax credits come in.
Okay.
That was so there's info from today.
Yeah. Okay. They tightened that up apparently because they used to do houses of worship that had significant community outreach programs. And if you made a good story about how you were serving the community, then you could get a grant. So we used that a couple of years ago for our church. I don't know whether they still are amenable to that. Sounds like they didn't shut the door totally to you. You said they prefer not to. So there may be room if you have a really strong community service program and are not strongly church oriented, like maybe AH's organization, that might be still feasible for you. So I would say it's maybe worth a discussion, but clearly you're going to have a strong community outreach or, angle to it rather than because you're a church. Okay, let me just see what else we got here. I need to share my screen. There we go. And do this. Okay, so we did that. This is a little bit more elaboration about some of the state of Ohio programs. This Ohio Educational Environmental Fund is a fairly small grants by and large, but it's really for educating the community, either in students or the general public, which is probably where we would fit, or the regulated community. And I'm thinking as a result of looking, my experience over the past couple of years doing, helping you all get energy audits, and seeing how they work, is that we might be well served by getting experts in various areas to help guide you through some of those more simple kinds of environmental upgrades, energy efficiency upgrades. I'm talking things like thermostats, weather stripping, insulation, stuff like that. I guess I would like to get some feedback about whether a program like that would be of interest to folks to help you implement some of these things. How to read a utility bill, for example. Is that something that would be of interest? You want to put up a hand or something like that so I can get some sense about where you are or not?
Sure.
Yes.
Okay. Because we can put something like that, and it's not going to cost a lot. We may have to pay some of the speakers, but I'm hoping that we can do some of it live in terms of actually having hands-on demonstrations, as well as some of it probably virtual, just depending on the subject. Okay, the other one.
Wait, I have a request that everybody that has an idea, some of them we're hearing when we talk to you in your report reviews, send it to Ken. What topic?
Yeah, what topic? What would you like to hear?
Yes.
Could we help you on with your energy efficiency programs to help you do a better job in your organization? Because we can pick and choose the ones that seem to be the most prevalent and try to hit those. That would help us considerably. Okay, the other Ohio programs are larger ones, and there's really two of them that I saw on the web page. The energy efficiency program is really paying for energy audits, and I think almost everybody on this call has had an energy audit. So that's really not necessary, but if you haven't, it's a way of getting your energy audit paid for. And they will give you a level 2 type energy audit, which is a certified one that's valid for grants. So if you want to apply for Ohio State grant, you need to have a level 2 audit that's certified, which is what
And you want to
has been providing.
You want to check that website because you can't just use any auditor.
Right. There's a list of approved auditors in there, and so that has to be one of them. But I think Energy is on that list, but you don't have to use them. The other program is a larger one, and they have grants in the range of $100,000 to $200,000, but their total pot of money is only $700,000. So that means there's only going to be a very few grants. It's going to be very competitive. And there are a lot of other serious restrictions. Your energy savings has to be more than 15%. Your payback time has to be 15 years or less. And those of you who have sat through the reviews with Energility on the projects that they recommended, many of those projects have more than 15-year payback periods, and so they would not be eligible. So this is not an easy program to get to. But if you really think you might put something together in that range, then we need to get you to talk to Energility or some other energy management company, because they have expertise in doing this. They have commercial customers that they have served who do these things. So whereas this is not my bailiwick. So I'll just leave it at that. If you have an interest, do you think this is a fund for you? It's not open right now, but they say in the fall they expect to be. So if that's something you think is appropriate for you, let us know and we can get you talking to Energility or somebody else. Okay, what else? The solar moonshot, we talked about that. So I think everything has been said there. They do have the bridge loans that Melissa mentioned, and other organizations will do similar things. So that's available to help. Because if you are going to apply for the investment tax credit, you're not going to get that money right away. It's going to take at least a year and maybe even two to show up. And so you're out 30% of the money, basically. So it's got to get covered somehow. So the way they do this is what they call a bridge loan.
And that was a 5% loan.
Yeah. Okay. So they're relatively low interest loans, but it's still a interest-bearing loan. Okay. That's what I've got to say. Nikki, you want to say something about the ideas you have on the solar side?
Yeah, so I've just got this one slide on this big idea. We as a city are looking to do what's called a Solarize campaign with residential folks. So people on their homes. This is essentially a solar co-op, and I'll drop it in the chat, the link to this concept of solar co-ops. We are familiar with it from Solar United Neighbors. The city has run solar co-op programs for residential a few years before I started. So there's experience, there's institutional knowledge around how to run something like that. My role at the city, I'm a clean energy and climate resilience manager, is to think about how can I help stakeholders from across the community, from across sectors, be more energy efficient, get electrified, and ultimately, if possible, go solar, and do it in a way that folks can afford it. So this concept of solar co-ops is really pretty cool, and it has been used all over the nation for residential. My thought is we have such an amazing community here of nonprofits and faith communities, not just in Cincinnati, outside of Cincinnati. This idea doesn't have to be limited to inside Cincinnati. Why not pursue something of this nature for you all? The idea is that we are looking, the city is, and then I've spoken to Ken and Joanne about this idea. The city's looking into working with a partner, either one of two partners that we're aware of. They're called Revolve and Collective Sun. I've only actually spoken to Revolve so far. But essentially, they typically work one-on-one with nonprofits and houses of worship to go solar. Specifically, Revolve has a few different ways to go about this, where you could either, they can help you do direct ownership and work through the tax credits and everything. They also offer financing through either a lease or what's called a power purchase agreement. They've helped churches and nonprofits across the nation, including in Ohio, I have an example here from one of their slides from a church that they supported in Compton, California. They've worked with 140 nonprofits, and they've deployed 6 megawatts of solar projects. If you think about what a megawatt is, that represents about 700 houses of energy alone. So they've helped a lot of organizations go solar. Those tax credits are going to be having an early sunset. Though essentially, I think we're looking at needing to get systems built and placed in service. That means that they're producing energy by the end of 2027. So we've got a little bit of time to work with to potentially pull together a cohort or two of nonprofits and houses of worship to go after this idea. The co-op idea is that you pool your interest. You say, we've got 20, 30 organizations that are interested in going solar. And through your bulk purchasing power, or either a negotiated discounted price for the cohort, you get connected to a vetted installer that the organization, Revolve or Collective Sun, would vet. And there are other partners that we have, like Solar United Neighbors. They're out of the local chapters out of Columbus that would probably help with this as well, just around some of the education, making sure that quotes are legit and things like that. But having that cohort approach to things and being able to lean on each other, and they also, Revolve in particular, is really keen on providing community education and engagement. So they've said, in all of their projects, they'll do something akin to like a ribbon cutting and maybe like a Solar 101 class for members to just kind of understand like what's going on at our organization and how's this benefiting us, etc. So I think, as opportunities start slipping away with the tax credits sunsetting, now is a good time to start considering, like, if possible, can we go solar? And this would be kind of an approach to do that. Interest does not indicate that you're actually going to move forward with it, but just wanted to share this with the community because I think it could be potentially very beneficial for folks, especially with the price of electricity going up so significantly and really not any end in sight, unfortunately. So I'll go ahead and stop sharing this. This is an active idea that I'm pursuing and hoping to work alongside not only Faith Communities Go Green, but my contacts in the nonprofit world in and around Cincinnati. So there will be more information to come, but I'm excited about this idea.
Count me in.
Okay. Yeah, I guess what I would like to get, we have a couple of things here that we need input on. So if from each of you, if you would send me or Joanne an email saying, number one, are you interested in this solar program? It's not a commitment, but if you think it's a reason, you have a reasonable chance of being involved and it's of interest to you, you want us to pursue it. Number one, so we know how many people, what size group we've got to offer, because the more we have and the more panels we have to put on roofs, the cheaper the price is likely to be. That's number one. Number two, if you are planning to apply for a Seeds of Change grant, I would like to know that. And if you know what the topic is or the area, let us know that as well. So we kind of be aware of what people are doing. I mean, you don't have to, but it would be nice if we knew. And then the third thing is topics for further help in implementing some of the simpler recommendations that have been made in these energy audits. I mean, we're not going to help you install a HVAC system, but we can help you with how do you put weather stripping on a door, or how do you program a thermostat, things like that. So, but put your ideas down, whatever it is, and we'll screen it. Some of them may or may not be possible to do, but I'd like to hear that. So, three things: solar, seeds of change, and ideas for talks over the next year. And my thought is to do this maybe once a month over the next year, and do it that way. Spread it out around the year.
Can I just add in a little bit here?
Sure.
So in addition to the 30% investment tax credit, if they use domestic content, you get another 10% off. And then as Nikki was mentioning, co-op probably could save another 10%. So your solar cost could be half of what the actual cost is. Couple that with the rates going up, and you can even look at the projected rates. Our rates are going up by a fair amount. Even if you've done the analysis like 2 or 3 years ago and it didn't make financial sense then, it might make sense now.
Yeah.
I would really urge you to do that. In fact, there are a lot of people I've talked to, and they've shown interest in getting an analysis done.
Yeah. The other thing is that even with the 30 or 40 or 50% tax credit, the upfront cost can be a barrier for people.
Sure.
And because not all churches can afford that. There are other financing mechanisms around. They're less financially attractive in the long run, but they do allow you to get in the game. And that's two things. One is a solar where you can rent the solar panels. It's a lease, and Revolve does that in some occasions. So they own the system and they sell you the electricity. You won't get as good effective prices if you own the system yourself, but it may be, and we have to check this out to get them to do some numbers, it may be still good enough to give you better price than you would get from Duke. And the other way mechanism is what they call power purchase agreement, where you agree to buy, they put the panels on your roof and they take care of them, but you agree to buy the electricity at a certain predetermined rate. And again, that has to be determined whether that's financially, where that stands financially in terms of how much benefit or non-benefit that is to you. It's easy to do in California where prices are a lot higher than here. We're slowly approaching California prices, so it may be that it's getting more feasible. But a couple of years ago, as Fred said, it was not feasible.
Ken, how does a nonprofit benefit from a tax credit if you don't pay taxes?
Because of the bill that was passed, what they call the IRA bill, allowed a mechanism for the IRS to cut a check to a nonprofit, to non-taxpayers, that is effectively like a tax credit. They call it something else. They've had a couple of direct pay, some other, yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Nikki.
Yeah, sure. So this is kind of my area of expertise. But this is a provision in the Inflation Reduction Act, the IRA, called elective pay. It's often called direct pay. If you Google search it, you'll come up with all kinds of information. There's still information on the federal government's website about how to go about doing this. But essentially, and I'll speak to what I put in the chat as well, because it ties in. These tax credits, while they are applicable to for-profit entities, that elective pay provision allows tax-exempt entities for the first time to directly benefit from those, quote, tax credits. You file a 990T with the IRS. There's a whole process. And earlier there was a slide about Lawyers for Good Government. They have a lot of excellent resources, and then also one-on-one free consultation on how to do that. So it's great. I've given a number of presentations to, Faith Communities Go Green, I think about a year ago. I presented to the Leadership Council for Nonprofits. Tax-exempt entities counts as local governments too. So we have actually been able at the city to take advantage of the tax credits as well. So it is something that has been sunset early with the big, beautiful bill from last year. So originally it was going to go out to 2032, and now it's ending at the end of 2027, which is unfortunate. But that tax credit, other tax credits, other incentives, we will also be covering that. I put it in the chat. We have a workshop series, and one of the workshops will be targeted for tax exempt organizations. It's going to be coming up on April 17th at 9 a.m. at the zoo in their Treetop Meeting Center. The zoo is a good partner for us. They do a lot of great work. So they're hosting our presentation to nonprofits and houses of worship and local governments and public education. Those all count as tax exempt organizations. So
Is that live only?
That's going to be live, and it will be recorded and then posted to our website, electrifycincy.org.
Okay.
And how do I register for that?
More to come. We just got the dates scheduled, so we'll have, we'll be doing the marketing blitz soon, and I'll send Ken and Joanne will be on the list, and then they can send it out to you all.
Okay. Any other questions, comments, or whatever? Thank you all for participating, and I send you forth with homework to do. You didn't know you were going to get that, but it will be helpful to us. So I would appreciate any kind of input that you can give about actions that are helpful to us or things that you need, because that's the way we fulfill our mission. Okay. Thank you very much, and good evening to you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ken and
Thank you.
Joanne and Nikki. Excellent.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
So now with this information, what you got to do?
Thanks, Ken.
Yep, you're welcome. Thanks for coming.
All right.
Good night.
Thanks, Ken.
Yeah, you bet. Thank you. Have a good one.